Hey, boys and girls, it's Channel Cats Grow Up. And I'm sure you're tired of that introduction by now. But
Never!
Today it's Grim and Shaf, per usual. And
Special guest Luke.
yeah, I guess she decided to join. Okay. But so yeah, anyway, we're here to talk about the new show Loki. And
This is our low-key analysis of Loki.
Loki. Nice. Nice. Puns galore. But so yeah, anyway, we just finished the third episode. We've kind of been wanting to do this, and we enjoy the new MCU movie or TV show, excuse me.
Yeah.
Series. They've been pretty solid, we think, so far. So, but yeah, I guess we should probably start on. I kind of want to touch on what our thoughts were because we didn't touch on Falcon Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
And Grim and I talked about this, but I think our opinions differ on this, and that's what's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
I think a good talking point because two different points of view.
Sure.
But yeah, anyway, I'll let Grim talk about his.
So I mean, right now this is the third series of the Marvel's not cinematic but streaming service series. You started
Disney Plus, I guess.
Yeah, the Marvel Disney Plus. Right?
Yeah.
So basically, you had WandaVision, then you went into Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and then now you have Loki. I've enjoyed all of the entries so far, even though Loki's only halfway through because there's only I think 6 episodes for this series.
Oh.
But honestly, I really liked WandaVision. I know it's a little corny with the TV series, but both of us growing in the 90s, I drew an instant connection. The spoiler alert, I guess, if you haven't watched it from February, but like if you didn't know that Agatha was there all along, and more surprises, more different things happened where I felt like in Falcon and Winter Soldier, and I didn't hate it, but I liked WandaVision more. You kind of knew that Sam was going to be Captain America. You knew that U.S. Agent, because of his Marvel backstory, there was some issues.
She's like trying to nest, I think, or something.
There was some issues with him and his, what do you call it, his sanity / his ability to be a patriotic, peaceful type of individual.
Yeah.
And then for Loki, I just really enjoy Loki just because of just all the craziness. I don't know, it's something about it just makes me like it now more so than Falcon and Winter Soldier. So if I had to rank it,
I'm not making this face. Sorry, I don't mean to make this face. I was thinking I was thinking about like what he was saying and then what my follow up will be. Sorry.
Right. So in my honest opinion, it goes WandaVision, Loki, then Falcon and Winter Soldier. Not to say that I don't hate Falcon and Winter Soldier. I think there's definitely some great points to it. But some of it, and if not most of it, was very predictable.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's. I mean, at the moment, I can't really comment on Loki's position 100% anyway. But I enjoyed Falcon Winter Soldier a ton. Right. I mean, Anthony Mackie, I think, plays an awesome Sam Wilson, right. And he's lacked in other things, I'll admit. He's not the best actor, I don't think, but he plays a great Sam Wilson. Right. And and I always kind of liked the brooding, badass kind of guy in Winter Soldier. So that was always kind of fun to me. Obviously, I'm probably I'm attracted to that kind of crap. But so yeah. Anyway, for me, I just like what they did. Yeah, it was predictable, and honestly, to me, the Flag Smashers were kind of annoying as a main villain. Sure. But I like the twist with Agent Carter's child that was Agent Carter 2.2 part 2.
That's her aunt, right?
Is that what it was? Oh, yes. Yeah. You're right.
So it's some lineage there, but I guess if you encounter enough variants, it could be Captain America's daughter. Oh.
Think about that. It could be, actually. And now, at this point.
Could be.
Yeah. Imagine that. He kissed his own daughter. Oh, the repercussions. It's a Star Wars moment. Anyway.
Kissed your sister, dude.
Oh. But,
you're the worst twins ever, as
I didn't. How could you? Anyway, that to me is way above. I'd say way above.
So you're saying the Agent
WandaVision
storyline was way better than the whole WandaVision arc, or just Falcon?
Falcon and Winter Soldier in general was with the twist of her being the power broker, and then also I guess evil now. Right. But that was cool to me. And
I think a lot of it also is we're kind
character growth was all about this. I'll admit that was one thing I wanted to comment on, and I forgot. This it was more about character. And that was really cool, where you just had it had almost sprinkles every episode of pretty good spy on spy action kind of a thing, super soldier stuff. But
I think the thing was basically you have Falcon and Winter Soldier, both of which don't have a main series movie because it is a Captain America movie in the long run. So giving them the spotlight, giving them the opportunity. Same with the Wanda and Vision, giving them the spotlight as well. I think honestly. And only time will tell, and I think a year from now when we revisit, after the movies start coming back out again with Black Widow, Shang-Chi, the Eternals, and Spider-Man No Way Home. No Way Home?
No Way Home.
We'll find out if those can hold up to a full-length movie. A series could last 3-4 hours, but does it pull you in? Does it give you as much of a storyline? Is it good as these series are? So, honestly, for me, we'll have to see, because right now I'm loving it because we haven't had a Marvel movie in how long? A year and a half, maybe? No, the last one. What?
Shit, I think no. It was Spider-Man. Far From Home was technically the last, or the beginning of the new phase.
Right, and then it should have been Black Widow, but that's not even there yet.
Yeah, well, that's been, held off for so long now.
So essentially, basically,
because they're waiting for theaters to open.
Yeah, we don't have a Marvel movie. You're almost butting up Spider-Man to Spider-Man at this point, back to back almost.
Well, it's fun. Spider-Man to Black Widow.
Yeah,
think about that. Anyway.
Arachnids, what do you know?
Common. Anyway. But yeah, so I guess it whets the appetite a little bit. So it's we also have my opinion. Sorry. So WandaVision was fine. I think we talked about it a little bit in our previous video, but sure. I guess just a quick glaze over is it was fine. I think it kind of was longer than it should have been. Mm-hmm. And the family stuff and corny stuff, I don't know, it just, I get what they were going for, but it took it away from me. I knew it was all fake, and I knew it was just corny, dumb to me, I guess. Right. And that's, to me, I was just kind of it was filler in my opinion, and so that's why I was I just want to get to the meat and potatoes here.
I feel for WandaVision in terms of arc, it's a character development in the standpoint of how one deals with loss and how to get over that. There are the 6 stages.
But literally there were 8 episodes.
I don't remember, but something like that.
I'll put it up there, of course. But yeah, that's what always kind of puts me in, upsets me. Excuse me. It was just kind of I don't know, I felt I get what you're going with, but it was literally 8 episodes, we'll say, for now. Yeah. I'll put it back up there. I'll probably flash it huge. But, so, of just basically about her grieving loss and, all the different stuff that she's doing to cope with it.
Sure.
And it's okay, fine, but, I think they could have really condensed it down and, it's not that I don't like the character and Vision and everything else. That was cool, and I like what they did with...
There were 9 episodes.
There you go. So, we were met in between. Both wrong. But anyway, so that's my opinion. Loki, to me, so far, is pretty good. It's definitely above WandaVision at this point. So this episode was rough for me a little bit.
Really?
At times, it was cool. I don't know. I kind of felt like the bickering between them two and like the force, which I get. I understand they're both two Lokis, but I was just kind of like, I was like, all right, like, don't you both get it? Like, you need to partner up, you know, and stuff like that. And like, you know, our Loki, the male Loki, is I can't even remember his name. What's his name?
Hiddleston.
Thank you.
Yes.
Hopefully he'll play Bond one day. That'd be badass.
James Bond?
Yes.
No offense to him. He seems very
Too thin?
skinny.
Well, no, but Daniel Craig is fucking huge, like, for James Bond. But that's just it. Is James Bond should be probably kind of a big, brooding dude. Not that I'm saying he needs to be like a tank or anything like that, but he's a good... That sounds so stupid. He's a good build. But anyway... yeah, I would imagine he would be a force to reckon with. You know what I mean? I get, and I understand your concept. Tom Hiddleston's a little scrawny, but
right. Well, I mean, it's not a knock on him. He's still a brilliant actor, and he does Loki very well.
He has a villain look, I guess, for sure. He's kind of smarmy. But
I could see him as.
I like him a lot. Don't get me wrong. He's a great actor.
A Trevelyan or 006 rather than a Bond.
Yeah, 009.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah. 006.
No, 006. Well, I was like, I don't think we've ever seen a 009. Has there been any?
No.
I thought there was. I thought 8 was like a woman.
He's a huge Bond fan.
Oh, really? Ah. Did he read the books?
I don't know. He could possibly tell us.
Yeah, he'll probably throw it out there. Or down there.
But, yeah, I mean, like, so, Hiddleston possibly, that'd be a very interesting look for him and a thing. It could retract from Loki, depending, because I know this series actually has been guaranteed for 2 seasons.
Yes.
So, we'll see how that all shakes out. But also, there's always speculation and stuff like that. But, all
right, well, then we'll move on to, what did you think of the first 2 episodes?
I mean,
recap.
The first episode was basically literally the middle part of Endgame where they're trying to steal the Hyperstone heist, not Hyperstone heist, the Infinity Stone heist where they're
Tesseract.
Tesseract, and they're in Manhattan and blah blah blah, and Loki grabs it and whoosh, and apparently you find out he goes to Mongolia, and then the Timekeeper's like, oh, you can't do this, and you find out about these Timekeepers, which we've heard nothing about, which is fine because it's Marvel's expansive universe. I like the set pieces, and I like the core of the TVA home facility. I like Miss Minutes. She's hilarious.
Oh yeah.
It laid the groundwork. It's not going to be something super fantastic. It was cool watching that one super entitled boy get vaporized.
Yeah.
It was cool.
Sex boy.
Like watching the technology where this crazy machine like this tears away all Loki's clothes. That wasn't the exciting part of it. It was just interesting.
Oh.
Yeah. It was interesting how that all worked out, and then he dropped through the floor, and then it's like, oh, is this
Pride
all...
Month. I'm kidding.
Like all the stuff all the stuff you stated and said, and you kind of get, the baseline. I mean, going into it, and me watching a lot of previews and things like that, I knew what the TVA was, what it was about. So it's basically like a flatline story. You're like, okay, this is what it is. This is what happened. You strayed away from the timeline because the Avengers kind of fucked up, and this is what happens. And so they need to prune these time streams that are not the ones that they believe to be the all-knowing time.
Divergent, basically. Yeah.
Whereas the second one, you found more about. Oh, I think fiance likes that series.
Really?
Yeah.
Did she read the books?
Yes.
That's why.
But in terms of the second episode, finding this mysterious cloaked figure and who it was, and then the relative reveal at the end that it is in fact Lady Loki, or what's her name? That she says her name is.
Sylvie.
Sylvie, yeah.
But essentially she's Enchantress, it seems like, from the comics, but they kind of like blended Lady Loki with Enchantress.
Well, it's interesting too on Loki's file.
Oh yeah, shit. Spoilers.
What, for Loki's episode 1 and
3?
2 had Lady Loki in it already. So
Yeah, but we just said who she was in the third. She didn't. We just thought she was Lady Loki. Anyway.
But even still, like, if you looked at the file for Loki, it said for gender fluid. So you knew there could be a female one out there.
Oh, sure. I mean, you knew they were going to go there eventually.
Yeah.
They had to.
Yeah. But I think, the second one was much more entertaining. My jaw kind of half dropped when those charges fell through the little time portal and all havoc broke loose.
Yeah.
What I saw was one of the people in charge of the control room had that big bushy mustache. It looked like the guy from WandaVision. The one guy who's like, whose husband is it in WandaVision? I don't remember.
Oh.
It looked like the same dude. So I was just like, that kind of looks like him, but whatever. But yeah, I mean, so far the show is pretty good. I like it a lot. I think, in my opinion, it's more entertaining than Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I think in our genres of movies, I think you're
it's
more
different taste, though.
Yeah.
I think that's just it.
You're more of an action-oriented person.
What? You think? I mean, yes, I am. But, I mean, you think Winter Soldier and...
movie?
Falcon and Winter Soldier. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Falcon and Winter Soldier. I said Falcon in my head, and I just blurted out Winter Soldier. But, you don't think that was more actiony? I thought that was a lot of, like...
No, I'm saying that Falcon...
character development in Falcon and Winter Soldier.
It is, because you have 2.5 centerpieces, right? You have your two leads, and then you have the
flag breakers.
Yeah, and then you all that's gonna bother me. What is it called? What breakers?
Flag
smashers.
Smashers.
And then Carter at the end, right? So you have like 4 essential characters in development around them.
And his sister, Sam's sister.
And then U.S. agent, right? And essentially, it's a gigantic action movie, right? It's like action scenes, right? Much more than WandaVision, and even much more than what Loki has at this point.
But it's not like big and bombastic. Though.
No, it's not a Michael Bay.
I mean,
film.
this one, I think Loki's kind of. I mean, episode 3 has a awesome
scene,
final scene.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
Yeah,
amazing. They spent a lot of money on this episode, and it's funny. I didn't say it while we were watching it, and I wish I did, because then we could have laughed together at this moment when I mentioned it. Mm-hmm. But if you watch the bar fight scene, it is a total budget shot. And I was going to say, I was like, oh, clearly they blew all their money for the set pieces in the beginning with the Star Wars fixtures.
Yeah. Because
in the beginning part, it's like in a desert, like Tatooine style.
Purple desert.
Yeah, purple. And, and then there's, that's so different. But yeah, so anyway, just put a filter on it. But I'll put a filter on this right now, and then I'll just totally make fun of it. Anyway, but yeah, you know what I mean. Like, it was just kind of like retro, like 70s, 80s style, like what they would predict for the future would be kind of a thing.
Sure.
But anyway, but the bar fight scene came, and I thought to myself, I was like, oh, clearly they're trying to save some money. I mean, it wasn't a bad scene. It was a good scene, but it was just like basically one gigantic like circle room. Right. But which was supposed to be a train, by the way. It
could have been that one thing that they used in the Disney movie, The Mandalorian, where that's set as one like gigantic orb.
Dome.
Yeah. Could be that.
But yeah, anyway. So yeah, I mean, what should we? Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
So I mean, what are your takeaways from episode 1 and 2? Like I said, 1 is kind of a set builder. 2 had some interesting scenes. Traveling through time, natural disasters. I mean, you also had B.D. Cooper in the first one, so you have the time shift and watching the time shift, and then level 1 you have Lady Loki reveal, and then the explosion of the timeline. What is that term that they use for the timeline?
The sacred? Is it sacred
timeline? That's it. Yep.
And but yeah, I mean, the first episode was cool. I talked with Graham about it and basically said like, oh, I really loved the part where Loki, kind of breaks away from them, tricks his way away from them, and gets to see his entire life story, basically. Sure. And I thought that was really cool, and it just made him realize that that's not the path he wanted to go down.
Yeah. And because at that point,
he killed his mom, and
Loki was very bitter about what happened. He got abducted by the mere mortals of the Avengers, and he's not happy about it.
Well, he also found out that he was basically used by
Thanos.
Yeah, Thanos, and I said Kang, and I was like, no,
that comes soon.
Yeah. So, but yeah, anyway. So yeah, we in my opinion, the first episode was cool and setting that up and seeing his reaction and basically how he was like, all right, you know what, I'm gonna team up with them and wait. You could tell that's what he just wanted to do until he could figure out a way to manipulate the situation in his favor.
Right.
And he wants to meet the timekeepers.
I mean, also he's very cocky, also. So he was probably thinking in his mind, "Oh, this is the weak Loki who." Got abducted, dies at the hand of Thanos, even though it is technically him if he fulfilled that arc. He figured he was smarter, he has knowledge, he's smarmy, if you will, and then just trying to manipulate his way through. But, that's that.
I mean, that's what's kind of, I mean, it's neat because it's just like a different dynamic. I mean, essentially, we're watching a villain here.
Right.
I mean, so it's like, that's...
Well, could we claim it as an anti-hero at this point because of what he did in Endgame? Or before?
Man, he's still a villain. It's kind of like it's Loki. I mean, he does everything in his best interest. No. You know what I mean? Like, that's a sociopath. No. So it's like he's not a good person,
right?
But he'll when he does good deeds, he makes damn sure that it's known too. So it's like, what kind of person really does that? You know? So my point is, and he also tried to destroy the world is the first round in the Avengers movie. So, but anyway,
he was trying to destroy. He was trying to rule it, and he was trying to kill the people opposed to him.
Well, it's essentially the entire Earth.
Because he asked, the timekeepers asked what he was doing, and he was like he was trying to not. His goal was to rule the world, then rule the 9 realms.
Yeah, true.
So,
but
I guess you have to break a few eggs to, if you will.
Yeah.
Sometimes
you gotta break a few eggs to make an omelet. Anyway, good movie. Makes me wish I'm watching that now.
What movie?
1989 Batman.
So basically, like...
Back to Loki.
Yeah. Sidestep.
Right. Back to Loki. Yeah, so episode 3... 2, I guess. That was cool, like them going after the variant. I was excited to see who the variant was going to be.
Right.
I didn't think they were going to reveal it so quickly.
Right.
I thought it was going to be a few episodes, but they go right out with it. Clearly, it's a chick.
I mean,
and she's blonde.
Continue. I was going to say something, but that's more interesting. That
was it.
Okay. And technically, the villain, I believe, doesn't get revealed till today, in today's episode.
Oh, wait.
The enemy is the time variant.
Oh, you mean like... Wait. You mean the association?
Yeah, the TVA is the enemy.
Oh, yeah.
Because you said...
clearly. I always kind of had the idea that they kind of were...
Right.
Like a shady government sect, kind of, or whatever.
Right.
I always kind of got that vibe, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
I did, like, they were always doing something in their own best interest, not really everybody else's.
For sure.
But... Yeah, because it was just kind of like, it's like, oh, that's what's supposed to happen. Remember when Loki says, well, what happens at the end? And they're like, well, that's classified.
Right. With 1 and 2 going into 3 now, clearly we mentioned that there's a spectacular shot at the end sequence at 3.
Well, do you want to recap? I mean, should we go into full spoiler mode here?
Sure, for episode 3.
Yeah. Full spoilers! Woo! You've been warned. Alright, anyway, I guess, do you want to start at the beginning?
Sure. So it kind of jumps back into the end of episode 2 where Loki has the decision, or our time variant Loki has the choice of going into the portal with Lady Loki or staying behind with Owen Wilson. He jumps through the portal. They end up on this random planet. They don't know where. They look at the little...
Did we look it up? No. I'm going to look it up while you're recapping.
They ended up on this random planet, and this planet is one of the set apocalypse... natural disasters or civilization-ending occurrences that the Lady Loki has been teleporting to so she can be in there in that time, so she doesn't alter the time variant to create branches and then notifying the TVA where she is. So this planet is supposed to be one that is going to explode because another planet's going to collide into it. So they have a limited amount of time to get off the planet. They realize that their device that allows them to portal jump, time jump, or whatever the terminology in this episode is out of battery. In my opinion, it looks like a Game & Watch, which is kind of funny. And there's only 3 keys if you look at it. There's a battery indicator, there's a jump button, there's a miss minutes button, which I found interesting. I don't know.
Well, it looks like it's all like the light, old school, like 70s, 80s light up screen, where it's not. It's like a single cell with one light bulb, and that lights up, and a bunch of them light up to make a letter image or whatever.
Sure.
That's what it looked like to me.
And so their then goal is to find a power source to charge this device so they can jump back to where they need to go. They stumble upon a random person's house. It's kind of like if you're in like the deep boonies of America and you stumble upon a house and you try and enter it, and the homeowner has a shotgun, and then Lady Loki takes a shot to the chest, and then Loki tries to disguise himself, be like, "Hey, it's me," and she's the owner of the house is like, "My husband was never that nice," blasts him too.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Well, where can we find a power source?" Blah blah blah. And they're like, "Well, go to this place." Is it the ship that they're going to get the?
Yeah, it's a ship called like the Ark. Like it has the power source because that's basically what's taking all the rich people off planet.
Yeah. So then there's a train to get to the Ark. So they need to then try to get onto this train. So they need to be creative and heisty to get on this train. So Loki disguises himself as a security guard, takes Lady Loki through like prisoner. Lady Loki uses her mind manipulation, gets on the train, and then the story slows down dramatically, and then the set pieces look a lot cheaper, as Schaefer mentioned, where basically this is where the story happens, where they share who each other's mothers were. They know that Lady Loki knows that she was adopted. Loki found out, was told by someone that he was adopted.
Yeah,
because he's a frost
giant, but basically he was told by a frost giant, I think, in the second movie,
something like that. Yeah, the one that I didn't watch, The Dark World, and
likewise.
So Loki,
I've been meaning to, but it's like every time I see it, and I'm like, nah.
So essentially, like Loki gets drunk, and then Lady Loki's on guard, and then she falls asleep because she's tired from time jumping. She said she's worked many of years trying to destroy the time stream.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, Loki's jovialness triggers someone to know that something's not right. Security is found, and they get thrown wasted, off the train.
Which is pretty funny.
Yeah. And then they realize, well, what's our only hope? Well, we need to fly off a planet. So they rush to the spaceship. This is where they have this beautiful set piece with, like, it's like what did you describe it as? What city?
No, I was saying the Star Wars one. The later half, you mean, with like the
city itself? You said
I just said it was a great set piece. I did like for the second half of the city, neo noir sort of maybe. Right. I don't know.
Well, in my first assumption when they just deadpanned it and I didn't look detailed, it looked like a mid-90s laser tag with neon and bright lights and stuff. It kind of looked like Nowhere, the head planet where the collector was on. There's just so much stuff going on, but it just looked so beautiful for this series. It had a huge like CGI spaceship in the back, and then they're just running, and there's a couple parts where it's one scene, the camera's just moving back and forth. Schaefer mentioned that it's so easy to just rattle the camera to cause
there's no it's shaky cam, as they call it, with the like action scenes. Like they totally didn't do that. And I mean, was the choreography great and everything? Yeah. I mean, like that's why I like Falcon and Winter Soldier, because I thought the choreography in that was really good. Like they are so desperate to get off planet because they know the world is ending, and then later on they find out that the reason the Ark never left the planet, and so they're like, oh, we'll just steal it anyway because it's never going to leave the planet. And anyhow, while they fuck that up, they get caught because Loki gets wasted. Yeah. And then, but yeah, did you recap that already?
Well, pretty much. Basically, they're running through the city.
Sorry.
No, you're good. And then they finally get close to the ship, and then they realize the planet that's running into their current planet explodes. And
it's a moon, actually.
A moon, sorry. Part of the moon crashes off and slams into the spaceship and destroys the ship. And so basically you just see a defeated Loki, Lady Loki, or what's her name again?
Oh, Sylvie.
Sylvie and Loki just dejected faces and end episode.
Yeah,
now,
which was tragic.
Yeah, because it got good there, and then you're like, oh, I have to wait 6-7 days for this. Why? But the other thing is, it's just like, if you know...
It's not me, it's the dog, I swear.
You know that for the next episode, and what's going to happen is, they're going to find a loophole to get off the planet. Either the time variants will come in, or they find... Thank gosh I have a congested nose, because I can't smell anything.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, God.
This is what's going to make the cut. Flatulent dog, Loki.
Yeah, me fanning it out. All right.
But yes, so you know that they're going to find a loophole, or the time variance will show up, or something. The major drop is when Sylvie was talking about interrogating the one time variant, so TVA soldier.
Yes.
That basically this particular person, Love Margaritas, was a random person on Earth, and it pulled him, and it's a direct lie or direct contradiction from the propaganda that Miss Minutes has been saying, that these are people that have been created for this job to keep this this timeline intact and perfectly in place. So the flip is not Lady Loki is horribly evil, it's the TVA has a lot hidden. So is it the TVA who is the bad guy, or is Lady Loki still the bad guy, or is Loki going to rule the day and become even more notoriously bad?
Well, I lost my point. Sorry.
I would say the villain currently is still unknown, because you don't know if the TVA is a horrible entity, even though there is possibly Kang because in the comic books Kang is part of the TVA. Kang is going to be probably the main villain in either Quantumanium or make an appearance in Multiverse Madness. Or this could be just a setup for just the extreme fracturing of timelines and making Nowhere Home make more sense. The Multiverse of Madness make more sense.
Well, Jesus Christ, I mean, it sounds like Spider-Man's going to be crazy. I think Disney's trying to shut up, like, the actors that they're actually getting back, because they don't want everybody spoiled.
Yeah.
Like, I get the sense that Andrew Garfield's going to make, like, a cameo or something like that.
He flies in and is like, hey, webheads, blah, blah, blah.
No, he's going to act like an asshole and then swing away. Or punch a baby and then walk out. Like...
I think of all the things Disney could have someone to do, I don't think coming in and punching a baby is going to be the one.
I talked to Griff about this recently. I own The Amazing Spider-Man. Like, when that movie came out, I was so stoked about it and everything else, and just because I have a huge crush on
Emma Stone.
Yes. Gwen Stacy in my head. Couldn't believe. But so yeah. Anyway. Like, huge crush on her. I was like, Andrew Garfield, like, he has that Peter Parker look, in my opinion.
Sure.
I think out of all the actors that have played Peter Parker, I think he's Peter Parker for sure, out of them all.
Off of looks, not of actual acting.
Yes, 100%.
Because
acting, however, he was a snarky asshole. And I rewatched it, and, like, to me, Spider-Man's always been, like, you know, look on the bright side guy. And, like... He cracks jokes, and in that movie, he was an asshole. He didn't crack jokes. He was just mean. And I was just kind of like, that's not Peter Parker at all. You gotta have that.
Right.
Like, you know, it's like making Batman jokey. Right. Like, it's like, no, that doesn't happen.
Like Adam West jokey, or just like a comic strip?
That's different. That's
1960s
Batman. I mean, we could go into it. I'm not going to go into it. I've been on a lot of tangents in this video. No more Batman.
Reeling it back in.
No more Batman.
But in terms of that, I would agree. I mean, like, of the Spider-Mans, Tobey Maguire is very nostalgic. He may have not been the greatest actor in general. I think the nostalgia, and then 1 and 2 were really good, even though he had some very...
I don't think he's not a good actor. I just think the direction in that film, or the writing, was not good.
I mean, so 1 and 2 were great. I think 3 was...
You're talking about Remy?
Yeah, Remy.
Oh, no, sorry. Yeah, not the original 3. No.
You're talking about...
2 was a magnificent.
Yeah.
Like, the first one, yeah, it was solid.
So what I'm saying is
3's garbage.
Maguire did well. There are definitely some points which were left to be desirable in terms of pretty much all 3. some of the facial expressions or his crying face, which is on a meme now, which you can't control your face and all that type of stuff. I understand. But, like, definitely because his nostalgia, it was one of the first Marvel movies to make it into the high budget and the graphics and stuff like that and X-Men.
That was big time on that one. They put big money into that shit.
In terms of Tom Holland, I think he's the best portrayal of Spider-Man, not only just because his natural athleticism, nothing to knock the other two, but just, he is a kid, Andrew Garfield was like 27 trying to play an 18-year-old.
Was he at the time?
Yeah,
I have no idea.
Something crazy. Like, it was older than McGuire when he started. But
really?
Yes.
Oh my god.
So the thing is just like, it's more believable, and then on top of that, it's just like, the way that Holland presents the character, you kind of have this like, I don't know, like Kismet or like.
Well, he has the youthful eyes.
Yeah.
I think he pegs Peter Parker's personality of them all.
Right.
Like if you could literally put Tom Holland's acting skills into Andrew Garfield,
right,
would be perfection.
Well, that's what's going to happen in Nowhere Home. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, Disney's going to make that happen. The amount of money they're just like make it happen.
But
we own the world.
I mean, I don't even know how we got into this relative tangent on Spider-Man, but yeah, there's.
Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, it should be a very exciting time. We're gonna reel it back a little bit. Loki, it's promising after episode 3. And like I said, it's not better than Guardians of the Galaxy 2 or Ragnarok or Endgame or whatever, but it's entertaining.
It's following the tracks. I'll say that.
Right.
I think it has potential. Like the comedy in it's good. This episode, I didn't think it was like she was the brooding woman or whatever in it, and like wasn't really all that jokey at all. Didn't open up. Didn't talk all that much outside of like basically bringing down the other male Loki.
The other thing with Loki is it's more dry humor than your physical humor or your just slapstick.
Sure, I mean, but like to me, if you keep on doing the same joke over and over again, it kind of just like it's like okay, you know what I mean? Like her dry look or her sharp look after everything male Loki said, it was just kind of like okay. After the 8th time, I was just kind of like. New joke, please. Like, I get it. She doesn't. She hates.
The Simpsons have been milking dough for 3 decades.
That's different. Totally different. Like, I don't know. Debatably, I guess it can. But yeah. Anywho, so yeah, I don't know. To me, it's a flat joke. It's an easy one. Like, it's just like the eye roll or something like that.
No, for sure. But so, in your honest opinion, Loki, where does it sit with the other 2?
Oh, definitely. Like I said, it has to prove itself. Falcon and Winter Soldier in the echelon.
With only 3 episodes.
It's definitely 2.
Okay.
Wanda's
better than WandaVision, yes. Okay. So I mean, like we said, there's a lot of promise. They know that this is going to be good, or they're going to put money into it. Not only with that one scene, but there's 2 seasons already announced. So Disney believes in it, or has a plan or a strategy enough that there needs to be 2 seasons. So
I think it's going to be something big at the end.
Yeah. So I think what we'll do is we probably won't be able to do this weekly, but after the next 3 episodes, we'll do a wrap up and kind of give our relative opinions on what we think Loki has done. If it's changed my mind, where it's instead of 2, is it going to drop to 3? Is it going to supersede 1? We'll just have to see. I think that those are our opinions. Feel free to comment and just make fun of us on how we can't keep a straight thought like a 90-year-old man. But we'll kind of go from there. So
should start a podcast. Seriously.
I mean, we can do a podcast. We'll do Twitch. We'll do YouTube. Oh, hell of it.
Oh Jesus!
Let's get the secondary revenue stream so we can support our addictions.
But yeah, anyway.
But beyond that, we really appreciate you watching.
Yeah. Thanks for our ramblings. I'll probably edit a lot of it out. Yeah. I'll be like. Matt goes on for Batman for about 5 minutes and then cut into the voice.
Just do the Batman. But yeah, so like I said.
But back to Loki.
Yeah. How many times you should just watch it and have a counter? Back to Loki, back to Loki. But yeah, so like I said, those are our thoughts. We'll be back with a part 2, hopefully. We really enjoy these homages to chats and homages to geek TV culture, comics, and all that stuff. So we'll hopefully do a couple more of these intermingled with our video games. So
I mean, we won't do them a lot. I don't want to flood the airwaves, but
we're primarily
once in a while, like after we think like a certain allotted time kind of passes by, like honestly, I'm glad we touched on Falcon Winter Soldier, but so
we're primarily a video game channel, and we have a lot of geek collectibles, so those are kind of the primary things that we'll be rocking. So we appreciate you watching. Like, subscribe, tell your friends. We'll see you later. Bye.